The Outlaw Late Model Championship battle has been blown wide open. Sunshine wins big at Knoxville, and Kyle Larson is so back. Let's go. It's Sunday, August 4th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is Dirt Tracker Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. This World of Outlaws Late Model Series Championship battle got a major kick in the butt over the weekend at the USA Nationals at Cedar Lake Speedway. I've been saying that if Pierce was really going to get back into this thing, he'd need some help from Brandon Sheppard and Nick Hoffman, and he got it. Hoffman was solid in the Thursday feature, finishing 4th, but was then 15th and 12th in the other two. And B-Shep, very good in the two prelim features, even leading laps in the Friday show, but things went big sideways last night in the 100-lapper. He was into the pits very early with a mechanical issue. The team later shared it was a busted fuel line, and he limped it home to a 27th place result. So what was a 122-point lead over Pierce after Friday for Shep is now just 76. Hoffman maintains second. He's 26 back, but he's only 50 in front of Pierce now. Bobby won 2 of 3 races, including last night's 50,000 to win finale. The show was halted on lap 57 because of rain. Pierce led all but the first 2 circuits. He's up to 12 Outlaw wins on the season. He's won 7 of the last 8 series events, and he took a swim in the Cedar Lake infield pond afterwards to celebrate. With as lights out as that 32 has been, Shep losing 46 points in one race is a massive blow. 14 race nights remain for the Outlaws in 2024, and 76 points, that's about 38 feature positions. Pierce still with plenty of work to do here, but he's suddenly much closer. The other driver that's been impressive lately that I wanted to spotlight is Ryan Gustin. 10 top 10s in his last 11 races. He won the Friday prelim feature. He was 4th last night. Things might even look a little bit better had he not hit that infield tire during the PDC. He's 6th right now in the standings, but 4th is not out of the question. The Outlaws go quiet now until August 14th. If you want big-time super late model racing this week, Lucas hits up Florence for the North-South 100. I would imagine quite a few of the big-time Outlaw teams will head there for that one. In other weekend late model action, Sam Seawright and Tanner English were hunt the front winners at Duck River. English was the beneficiary of a wild crash between frontrunners Ashton Winger and Dale McDowell that occurred after halfway. Winger got squeezed into the backstretch wall and his car went airborne while McDowell spun to a stop with damage. Not sure if McDowell didn't know Winger was there or what happened there. I mean, it looked like the 12 was pretty much fully alongside the 17M. But English drove on to the $20,000 win. Hunt the Front is back in a few weeks at Sonoya. Brandon Overton still leading the championship after a pair of weekend podiums. Peyton Freeman and Michael Page closed out the Southern Nationals with wins Friday and Saturday. I thought this championship was still going on, but they had already apparently crowned Donald McIntosh before the weekend. It's confusing that they're still running series races, but not counting them for points, so that's my fault. Devin Gilpin won $10,000 with the Northern All-Stars at Brownstown, and Frank Heckenass Jr. cashed in at Merritt, taking down the $36,000 at the Wood Tick. He topped Ryan Unzicker. Rusty Schlenk also led laps in that one. Heckenass hadn't won a Super Late Model show in over a year, going back to Farmer City last July. At Peevely on Friday and Saturday, Kyle Larson absolutely went off. He swept the Ironman 55 weekend with the World of Outlaws sprint cars, but did it in spectacular fashion. Friday night, he came from the 3rd starting spot in the B main to get a feature transfer, then went 21st to the win. He nipped James McFadden right at the line after J-Mac got held up by Noah Gass on the white flag lap. Both cars effectively doing wheel stands down the front stretch to the checkered. In victory lane, Larson was almost hoarse talking to Dirt Vision's Connor Wade as he said he was yelling in the car all the way back to the front stretch. And later on social media, he shared that his heart rate peaked at 198 beats per minute at the end. That is absolutely nuts. And then last night, not quite as impressive, but still charged from 12th to the win, taking the lead from Gio Scelzi on lap 44. It was back-to-back Ironman 55 wins, and actually 3 straight for Larson because he didn't compete in 2022 or 2021, but he did win in 2020 as well. The Third Turn, if you know about that website, they're a big stats racing results website. They tweeted that this was their first recorded instance of a driver winning with the Outlaws on back-to-back nights, starting both races from outside the top 10. They did note that many races prior to 2001 are missing start position information, but either way, that's one hell of a stat. The Saturday portion was missing a few cars, including James McFadden. He had a nasty crash in qualifying where it looked like maybe something broke. He sat out the rest of the show. And then no Brad Sweet, no Skylar G, or Danny Sams after they all raced on Friday. Hat tip as well to Buddy Kofoid and Roth for ending up 7th on Saturday after getting involved in a crash and needing a trip to the work area. Back to Kyle Larson, though. A few months back, he wasn't sure he was even going to race the Knoxville Nationals, but he is on the entry list with Thursday, his prelim night this week. With the way his season has gone to this point, I would have had a hard time putting him towards the top of the win favorites for this week. Keep in mind, he hadn't won a sprint car race since Eagle in June. He was 20th in the big money high limit race at Eldora and missed the Kings Royal main event completely. Peevely is at Knoxville by literally any stretch of the imagination, but a weekend sweep here has to be a boost for him. With the Capitani Classic on track tonight at Knoxville, how are you guys feeling about Larson's chances to repeat his Knoxville Nationals win? I don't know that I'd call him the favorite still, but he's moved up in the betting odds for sure. And by Kyle Larson standards, 2024 has definitely been down a bit in the sprint car, but after what we witnessed Friday and Saturday, it feels like maybe he's back. We'll see. For the Outlaw teams, it was a 5-hour overnight drive from Peevely to Knoxville. Not everybody will race tonight, but plenty will take advantage of the final tune-up before the Nationals start on Wednesday. While the Outlaws were at Peevely, Knoxville was hosting the 360 Nationals over the weekend. Caleb Johnson and Sam Haverteep were prelim winners. But last night's main event came down to a battle between front row starters Emerson Axsom and Tyler Courtney. Axsom has been super impressive this season, and he was that again last night. He took the lead from Sunshine on lap 2 and really controlled the pace early. But before halfway, he got blocked in behind the lap car of Carson McCarl, and that was Sunshine's opportunity. The 7BC took over on lap 12 and drove on to the win. It was actually Sunshine's first ever wing sprint car victory at Knoxville. He bagged $20,000 for the win and an additional $10,000 in laps led money. Axsom settled for second with Austin McCarl in third. Race was pretty clean throughout, just one really early crash for Chase Randall. He hit the turn 3 wall and flipped. Again, though, we saw a tail tank separate from a sprint car in a crash, and I'm wondering, are we making these things and their mounts out of tinfoil here lately? We were lucky there wasn't yet another fire. Looking down through the field as well, some nice runs for guys like Tasker Phillips, Jamie Ball, Caleb Johnson. And it was wild to see some names like Justin Peck and Aaron Reitzel get lapped in that main event. Elsewhere in weekend open wheel action, Brady Bacon and Justin Grant were Indiana Sprint Week winners at Terre Haute and Hobstadt. The Friday show at Bloomington was rained out. That one has been rescheduled for today. Logan Seavey in the driver's seat for the Sprint Week title right now. The Extreme Midget shows at Peevely were swept by Carter Sarf. TJ Stutz won at Williams Grove. Connor Morell at Lernerville. Caleb Henry won an AFCS race at Fremont. Dominic Gordon stayed hot in 360 action out west. And Lincoln and Port Royal were rained out on Saturday. All right, we will call it good for there today. If you want to see what your streaming options are for this Sunday, make sure to stop by DIRTRACKR.com/watch tonight. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.